What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new video. Let's talk a little bit about getting serious with print on demand. Should you quit your job for print on demand? Well, there's going to be yes and no circumstances, and I'm going to be upfront and honest here. And I feel like I could even speak about this from my personal experience, not through print on demand, but business in general. I remember when I was in college, I had two jobs. I wouldn't call them full-time jobs. They were both part-time, doing over 30 hours on each one. I worked in an Italian restaurant, and I also worked in a JCPenney. And I was, 17, 16, 18. Well, that's not true. I started at the restaurant since I was 14, and I quit when I was 18. And at JCPenney's, I worked from 17 to 18. So that's kind of a little bit my history. But there was a point in time where, the money that I was making online started to increase, and also my responsibility started to increase online to the point where I just couldn't do both. I couldn't go to work, and I couldn't do the business at the same time. And on top of that, keep in mind, I was still going to college. I, was a full-time student, so it's not like I had, that much room to spare. And really, I remember the time of my college, guys, and I'm not saying this to be prideful or arrogant or anything like that. I'm just kind of sharing my story here. I was really, squeezing every last drop of juice that I had out of my body at that point in time. And I remember those 4 years that I put myself through in college, I worked literally as hard as I possibly could. And I always used to say, when I was in college, I was much hungrier than I am now. I was much more not successful, because I am more successful now financially, but I was working a lot harder. And I think for any kind of business person, we get this high, we get this affirmation kind of emotion out of working hard, even if the results don't really don't kind of multiply. We still get this feeling of like this. Like I said, this affirmation almost, that we feel good about working hard. Well, during that period of time, there was a transition where I eventually had to quit jobs. So with print on demand, since we talk about print on demand a lot here on YouTube, whether you do Redbubble, whether you do Teespring, whether you do, Spreadshirt, whether you do Zazzle, once again, Redbubble, or whether you do TeePublic, or whether you do all of them, should you quit your job for it? Well, the first thing that I'm going to say is no. You shouldn't just quit for no reason. Let's go ahead and be clear. You first need to have an income. So a lot of people, and they're, believe it or not, on consultation calls, when I did consultation calls in the past, I don't do them anymore, but when I did them in the past, there was a individual who, well, there wasn't just one, but this, I'm going to use his example, is the first question he asked me on the call is, can I quit my job? Mind you, he didn't make a single dollar. And I said, I don't approve you quitting your job. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't approve you quitting your job, especially if you haven't made a dime on anything before you go ahead and continue. So the first thing is, we don't want you to be homeless. So no, you're not going to quit your job. You still have bills to be paid. You still have food that needs to be put on the table. I'm assuming some of the people watching this might have kids. I'm assuming you might have pets. I'm assuming you might still need to buy clothing. You need to pay the gas bill. You need to pay the insurance. You need to pay for cars. There's a lot of things you need to pay for. So no, you're not quitting your job. Okay? Now, I know you might hate your job, but you're not going to quit your job just yet. Just listen to this. What you're going to do is you're going to first give all of your focus on one platform. You're going to master the platform. Like, you're going to master it. When I say master it, you're going to, at least this is what my opinion is, before the designs go up live, you'll be able to know when they're going to sell, if they're going to sell, and by what date. You're going to know that. That's what I call being a master. There are some points in time, and I don't think I'm even up to this level yet, where when I create a design, I'm like, yep, that's going to sell for sure. That's going to sell within these 2 weeks. 3 days later, it sells, right? So there are some points in time where I have those experiences. I wouldn't even call myself a master yet, because I don't have those all the time. But I feel like once you get past, 50,000 designs created, you get used to that a little bit. You kind of get an idea of what's going to sell, what's not going to sell, etc. So that's one aspect, right? You're going to have to get really, really, really good at what you're doing. And being good is not an opinion, it's stats based. Just simply look at your income. You know, if you're not producing more than 4,000 or 5,000 a month, 6,000 a month on the platform, then you're not there yet, okay? And I'm talking about monthly without actually having to do the work. Now, some people are going to get on top of me saying, well, just because you're a master doesn't mean you need to make 5-6 grand a month. Whatever it is, guys, let's be honest. If you feel like you're very, very good at something, the results should show financially, okay? But the point is, the numbers are irrelevant right now. Let's just get to the point where you're really, 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 really good at something, okay? Then what you do is you're going to hire somebody with the money that you're making from that platform, because you shouldn't be having to work all the time to make money on that platform, right? You should be able to step back from it and it still produces income. I'll give you an example. There's not a single store that I have that after 1,800 designs, which is basically doing 60 designs a day, every day for 30 days, that I'm going to not get a sale every day. Every single store I have produces at least one sale a day after 30 days work on that store, okay? So there's a certain amount of income you're going to produce. Let that income, or half of it, or whatever you want to set up as a logical budget to get somebody that's going to work for you long term, right? Even if it's part-time, get somebody who's going to work for you long term. It could be your kid, it could be your cousin, it could be somebody from Uganda, for all that matters. It doesn't matter where they live. You're going to get some, and you're going to show them how you want the work done, okay? You're going to tell them either to design, to tag, to do whatever, but you're going to tell them to do a certain aspect so that they can lift off of your workload. Then you're going to do the same thing on another platform. You're going to get really, 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 really good at another platform. So let's say you're on Redbubble, right? And you invest all your time, you get good, you hire the person, whatever. Let's say you jump to another platform now. Whatever platform you want to use, Society6, Teespring, TeePublic, Spreadshirt, Zazzle, TeePublic, whatever it is, right? You pick. You go onto that other platform. Let's just say it's TeePublic. You start getting really, really good at it. You start producing more. The results start to show. You're going to do the same thing, only now you're going to hire another person, a completely different person for this platform off of the money that you make. Mind you, you're not investing anything yet. Then finally, you're going to do this on a third platform. Right? Let's say it's, let's not say Teespring. I don't want to give them that credit, because Teespring is really not all that in my opinion. Let's just say Spreadshirt. Spreadshirt's better than Teespring. Let's say you get really, really good at Spreadshirt now. So now you have 3 platforms under your belt. For me, and this is just my personal opinion, 3 platforms is enough that you're doing really, really well on to produce some sort of income that could potentially allow you to quit your job. I'm not saying, for everybody this is going to be the case, but for some people it might. And guys, we also want to be logical about what job you're quitting. So like, for example, if it takes 17 years at a job to get your retirement money, right, where you get a check every single month without working there, and I don't know, maybe you're working for the government, maybe, whatever the case may be, then maybe it's ideal, and let's say you've worked 14 years at that job, maybe it's ideal to stay 3 more years so you can get your retirement money. Maybe you work at McDonald's, right, and you've been there for 2 years. Maybe it's not worth it to stay. It just depends on your situation. Everybody's situation is a little bit different, right? So I don't want you guys to take the stuff that I'm saying for fact, but this is just my personal opinion on it. The most important aspect of this, at least in my opinion, is that the income that you're making from the online, from the print on demand, has to at least double than the income that you're producing at your job to leave your job, okay? The reason why I say this is for safety purposes. I don't want to be the reason where somebody watches this video, and let's say they make $4,500 from their job, and then they make $4,500 from print on demand, or $3,000 or $5,000, whatever the case may be, and then they say, okay, I'm going to quit, and then something happens to their print on demand where they've quitted their job, and now something goes wrong with their print on demand, they're making no money now. We don't want that to be the case. I don't want to be the reason that somebody's life is going to be screwed up watching this, okay? Because I know what it feels like to be, having lack of money. I know what that feels like. It's not like I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I got that shake money from Dubai, and my parents got that oil money. That's not the case for me, right? I had to actually figure things out. So, I don't want to be the reason for that. But regardless, you're going to do that. And that's my personal opinion. That's, in my opinion, the safest way. Now, the most safe way is when you do create double the income has to be from multiple sources, at least 3. Once again, this is for safety. So, for example, let's say you do Redbubble. And Redbubble, let's say you generate $10,000 a month on Redbubble, which is very hard to do, but let's just say that's the case. Let's say you generate $10,000 a month just on Redbubble, and your income from your job, let's say, is $4,500. Even though your $10,000 a month from Redbubble is double that of your job's, still doesn't qualify. You have to create income from 2 other platforms to get at least 3 different sources of income. It's not so much about the number, but it's more about the diversity. Because in the event that something goes wrong with that Redbubble store, your history, you're done. You're I don't know what else other word. It's a catastrophe. It's finished. You're gonna have to go back to find a job. You're gonna have to, there's gonna be a lot of issues. Now, some people might say, who maybe watch this and never seen my other videos, they might say, well, why would something go wrong with my Redbubble store? Why is that even a reality? Well, the truth is that you do not own your Redbubble store. You don't own your TeePublic store. You don't own Zazzle. You don't own anything. Any kind of design that you put up, you have no ownership over. These platforms do. And if they simply want your account removed, they'll remove you within an instant, within a second, without any kind of emotional thinking, without any kind of, get well, feel better card, without any of that, right? Even if it takes out your whole entire income, they do not care. It's just a simple way that it is. It's a ruthless fact. It's just how it's supposed to be in this world. And honestly, this is why I'm always pushing for creating your own website, creating your own business. And we're actually going to get to that. I'm going to create tutorials in the future of creating your own Shopify store. Obviously, it's not for everybody. Not everybody is going to be able to benefit off of it. But that is going to be something we're going to put out. All right? So that's going to be something. But regardless, that's kind of the way I look at it. It's not so much about, like I said, the income. Obviously, the income is a part of it. But it's really more about the diversity. Because in the event that something happens, you're not totally screwed, right? Like imagine, let's just say for a second, you have a job where you're making $4,500, right? A month. And let's say you make $2,000 off each platform, and you have TeePublic, you have Redbubble, you have Zazzle. You're making $2,000 a month from each platform. Let's say you decide to quit your job, even though it doesn't fit the criteria fully because you don't have over double. Let's just say you decide. You don't listen to me. You say, screw you, I'm not listening. I'm going to quit my job right here, right now. You quit your job. Everything's going good. 6 months later, your Zazzle goes downhill. Something happens. Something gets canceled. Something gets deleted. Somebody gets suspended, whatever the case may be. And then you wake up all of a sudden with one platform down. Let's say you never made any extra money on TeePublic or Redbubble. If everything goes well and everything stays the same, it's going to be at $2,000, which is $4,000. That's livable. You're not going to die there, right? But if you're in the scenario where it was the other way around, right, where you were making, let's say, I don't know, $500 on each platform, and you're holding on to dear life to make more money, and then something goes wrong with one platform, then, kiss your financial freedom goodbye. You're going to have to go get a job. So just look at it this way, is that you don't want to make any rash decisions here. You don't want to make a decision that you're going to regret. You don't want to make a decision that's going to cause a lot of pain and heartache. More importantly, you don't want to cause a stressful decision. Financial freedom, living on your own terms should be a blessing in your life. It shouldn't be some sort of stress. And you really should make that move when you're 100% ready. Not when you're 50% ready. Not when, you can just make it and you're really, really stretching yourself. it should be when you're relaxing. This is just my personal opinion. Maybe there's somebody out there that has a completely different opinion than me. And that's fine. Everybody has the right to have different opinions. That's just my personal opinion. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you are in the transition currently to quit your job and go full-time on your passive stuff, let me know in the comments down below. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye.